Hi, my name is Austin, and this is Dungeons and Dracon Beams.
Previously on Dungeons and Dracon Beams. Across the entirety of the planet Earth, in almost every known religion, culture, community, there is an importance placed on sharing a meal together. Breaking bread is used as a metaphor for putting aside your differences and coming together, which made it a meaningful event as Maitea, Aximili, Kamren, Zach, Dylan, and Savannah sat together around the same table and ate the breakfast that Dylan had prepared, each of them choosing their own pancake adventure. The feelings around the table was one of warmth, of silliness, and of community. They were breaking bread together. But as the sun rose, as it always does on Ocean Grove, and it being a Tuesday during the school year, a bustling overtook the city as yawning kids shuffled into the hallways and classrooms of their high school, where of course cell phone usage was banned, which is why it was such a surprise when Zach received a message from the famous Jonathan Taylor Thomas. No one suspected as he plunked his cell phone down on his... What? What?
It's not Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, it's JJMC, but we all know it's Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Come on, guys. This is Animorph's land. We all know it's JTT. Okay, JJMC. Fine, be that way. No one suspected as he plunked his cell phone down on his friend's desk that was who he was trying to make plans to meet. They were too busy looking down at their own phones, texts flying about who still didn't have a date to the Sadie Hawkins dance, TikTok runs of Korean cheerleaders with the most bored expressions doing a simple dance, and in one case, a pretty girl applied makeup, looking into a compact mirror, her teeth biting into her lower lip as she carefully applied liquid eyeliner. She scoffed loudly as Zach passed her desk and bumped into it. Luckily, she had quickly pulled the pen away from her face. Again, phones strictly banned from being used during school, especially during class. Miss Hernandez lectured on, pacing the front of the room as she surely would have confiscated any phones that she saw, which is why Dylan hid her responses to Michelle, her dad's new girlfriend, from view. Michelle was following up on getting their nails done. And while that maybe wasn't the most pressing issue that Dylan had, she did promise to respond pretty soon. The school day passed without further incident, and as the heavy metal doors swung open, the clunk of a skateboard being dropped and then kicked along joins the cacophony of other noise outside. A tall boy cramming his hair into his oversized flat-brimmed cap had to duck out of the way of a wad of paper that struck Zach. The stream of students continued pushing past the scene of Zach taking in his baggy jean, fishbone t-shirt wearing skateboard-wielding girl. Some of them may have overheard parts of the conversation, something about a ska cover band, Scatterday, I don't really know, and then, open skate night, but none of them had the entire conversation as a whole. But life goes on. Zach swept away on his way into the parking lot, and then on the other side of the school, that's where the buses were. They were idling in the streets, easing off their brakes, rolling out into the highway. One at a time, they all went until, bang, the emergency exit door burst open and Kamren landed heavily on the ground. He took off sprinting, grabbing Savannah, pulling her ahead of a podgy security guard who took off after them. He trundled along, falling further behind. The only way he would ever catch up would be if Kamren was held up, say by one Dylan, who was sitting in her car with Peter in the front seat. As she made sure everyone was secure, negotiated with Zach about skitching on the car, he could not. She made sure that everybody had their seatbelts on, backpacks in the back, sitting normally, sitting up, all that jazz. Surely this wasn't going to be a problem. As Zach opened the door, Kamren's head pops up and the security guard spots them. He turns and starts to beeline towards this car, his face getting red as he tries to run after it, but a little less red when the taillights dim, and then the car starts rolling away, getting away just in time, onwards to take Peter to Starbucks. All caffeinated up, Dylan starts dropping people off one by one. First Peter, then Kamren and Savannah. And as she rolls back to the last house with Zach, he confronts her about the strange cleanliness habits she has in her car. And then is floored by the realization that Dylan has a garbage bag in the car. So as he tries to slyly collect the trash that's being strewn about the floorboard, he decides to distract her with an invitation to Scatterday. I will never get this word right, people. Scatterday. After dropping Zach off, Dylan heads home. Her father's there. Seeing him for the first time in days, they have a moment of reconnection, of bonding, of having fun with each other, only for her to leave him again as the Humanimals must reconvene in the warehouse of the Chee, and that is where we are now.
My name's Kamren.
My name is Zach.
My name is Savannah.
My name is Aximili Escaruth Estil.
My name is Dylan.
What's worse than homework, parents, and acne?
Betrayal.
War.
Murder.
Brussels sprouts.
Doing it all while trying to stop an alien invasion.
Duh.
Aliens that crawl into your ear and take over your brain.
Mimicking your every thought, reliving all your memories.
Living life as you would, flawlessly deceiving your friends, your family, pretending to be you.
I'd rather die.
Stay on script.
What's even worse?
Mr. Statoric.
The only thing that stands in the way of complete takeover of all humanity is 4 teenagers and an Andalite.
I am the Andalite.
Yeah, you're the Andalite.
We also have the ability to morph.
It's amazing.
An Andalite technology.
Stay on script. The ability to...
Right. The ability to turn into any animal we can touch.
Lions.
Tigers.
Orangutans.
We must be extremely cautious. We can't trust anyone, thanks to my...
Kamren.
Okay, you read it then.
Fine. We can't trust anyone. Controller or not.
We have seen what happens when we are too trusting.
So now, there's only us.
Only us.
Only us.
Only us.
Because anyone could be compromised. Anyone at all, can be a controller.
Yeah, dude. Even you.
Over Ocean Grove in the evening, we see a flock of birds, but not together, spread out, to seem a little bit more inconspicuous. But you guys meet back up and get in the general vicinity of the warehouse.
Head straight for the warehouse, Austin. There's no fucking around. This is the plan. Get it together, dude.
As you all get closer, roll perception checks.
Can I have it with advantage for no reason? I just thought I'd ask because it's the first roll of the day.
Yes.
Thanks, Austin.
Everybody gets advantage.
Sick.
You all get advantage because you're in your bird morphs. So I'll say with the 22, you notice it first, Savannah, but everybody notices it. You spot an open window on the second floor of this warehouse. Nobody's outside.
Aren't we outside?
Well, some people.
Fucking got him.
Got him.
Are we flying inside the warehouse?
Nobody unexpected is outside.
Okay. You want me to go first?
We can always call out and see if this is where they would like us to fly into. And then I think she will. She'll reach out to like Xander or whoever she knows is an ally there and target the thought speak at them and just go, are we supposed to come in this open window?
Not even a full minute later, probably 46 seconds, the door to the warehouse opens and you see Craig look out, look around and nod. And then he closes the door.
Still want to go first?
Yeah, whatever. Zach will go into a steep dive, do a barrel roll as he goes through the window.
As Zach finishes his barrel roll and he's about to go right into the window, you see him just pull out of the dive and fly up and off into the distance. Zach.
What?
When you fly into the office that is on the second floor, you go in, you see a desk with a computer on it, and you see right in front of the desk is a bed with a big old St. Bernard laying in it. And he raises his head up to look at you fly in, and then he lowers his head back down to his paws and closes his eyes.
Just not bothered at all that there's a bird in here. Okay. Is this a big room or is the door open?
It's a nice sized room. It's 50 to 60 feet across.
With one bed in it, or is it a bunch of beds?
It's just one dog bed with the St. Bernard in it. And yeah, you're in.
I'm not demorph yet. I'm still a bark. All right, so this is a big old warehouse. And this is like a loft?
Yeah, you're on the second floor. And these are windows. So there's 2 windows that kind of look out to the rest of the warehouse.
Are those 2 windows that lead out into the warehouse open?
They're just glass. They're not openable.
Okay. How about this door that's down to the left? Is that open?
It's closed.
Okay, so I'm just stuck in this room, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go back out the window you came in.
Yeah. But other than that, okay. So Zach is gonna tell everybody else. The window comes into a room. It looks like it looks over the rest of the warehouse, but it is closed. I could leave again, There's one dog in here. I'm sure he's cool. Do you want me to leave or like just be in here and demorph or what?
I mean, do you think they're trying to trap us here?
No, I'm just, trying to be cautious.
All right, let's go in.
I'm gonna do a quick check around the room. Are there cameras anywhere?
Not in this room.
Okay. I'm gonna fly over to that chair and perch on it and start demorphing. I'm gonna cross my little hawk leg, so as I demorph, I'm just gonna be chilling.
Who's next?
I think Savannah will go in next, assuming that she's going to be one of the people that goes inside and is not outside staying on watch. So she's Peregrine Falcon. She'll do a quick roll into a dive and go in through the window. And immediately as she approaches the window, start flaring to cut her speed quickly.
Dylan, you watch as this Peregrine Falcon flies down towards the window, keeps going towards the ground. Looks like it scoops up a little mouse that's running in the bushes that line the warehouse, fly back up into the air and off into the distance. And Savannah, you see this.
Do better, Chee. Do better. That's not how peregrines hunt at all. It's ridiculous.
Okay, it hits a different bird in the air and knocks it senseless and catches it and flies off.
Oh, you do listen to when I talk to you sometimes.
You're in the room too.
I moved over to the other chair because I saw there was a computer there. I am fucking around with the computer as soon as I have fingers.
Okay. You see Zach in the middle of his demorph.
Yeah, Savannah will just take like a precursory look around the room, just kind of looking for the same thing Zach did, just as a precaution, cameras, that kind of thing, and then she'll start to demorph.
You do see the dog doesn't raise its head. It just opens up one eye, notices you, closes it.
It's a good dog.
Dylan, as you and the rest circle in the air, Kamren will say, all right, Dylan, you go ahead.
Oh, all right. And she's gonna swoop.
And you swoop down. Same thing. What more for you?
Northern Harrier.
And they see this Northern Harrier swoop down, and when it gets to like the roof level of the building, it just flies over the roof and off into the distance. And you are in. Dog once again. Actually, it doesn't even raise its eyes this time. It doesn't even open them or anything.
I don't get out of bed for less than.
And you see Zach and Savannah demorphing.
She immediately is hippity hopping toward this dog and demorphing at the same time.
As you get closer, one of his eyes does open up, and then his second eye opens up, and he raises his head as you're kind of getting closer towards him. Not too long later, you see a hummingbird flutter in, another identical Northern Harrier swoop in, and then an osprey. And you all hear echoes of dogs barking in this warehouse.
Yeah, the ambiance.
And seeing that everybody else is demorphed, so will those three.
Zach looks up from behind the desk and goes, "Thank you all for coming," as he's typing. Not even really typing anything, just slapping the keyboard.
No one's here for you. We're here for this dog.
That's fair.
As you finish your morph, Dylan, he will kind of lean forward towards you.
Oh, yeah. I'm giving him scritches.
Savannah's also down there petting that dog.
He's got a collar on.
What's his name?
It says Bastion.
Bastion.
Sick fucking name.
Bastion.
Oh, wait. Now, hold on. Is it short for Sebastian, or is it a defensive structure?
The second one.
Sick. All right.
This dog is fortified.
That is a fortified dog.
It is a fortified dog.
Can I fortify that dog?
Zach is actually going to fuck with this computer with intent now and try to get into it and see what he can do.
Well, that's a whole different level of the law when you fuck with it with intent.
Yeah, it's premeditated fucking with this computer.
Premeditated fucking with a computer.
Dylan is occupying the same space as this dog.
That's acceptable in this case.
That's
Yes.
against the rules.
Nope, don't care.
Rules be damned for dogs.
This looks like the kind of dog that would be like, yeah, you can get in here. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to do, Zach? Roll a computers check.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of want to see how porous the security is, and if I'm able to get in there at all, then see what I can find.
Yeah, first step is a password. So roll it up.
What password?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, as the Chee intended.
It's 8. This one's very secure. It's 8.
So you do manage to get in. I'll say you can't just like guess the password, but with like your skills, you are able to bypass being able to having to put in the password.
Modern hacking. All right. I don't know. Folders on the desktop. All right. Remember from X-Men 1 when Mystique just goes to a random computer and is like finding government secrets? That's what that's all I'm doing.
Roll another computer's check as you're searching through this computer.
Like I have no targeted. I'm not trying to do anything specific. I just want to see what's on here. 24.
You are not. It looks like a regular computer. There's like transaction reports that it just looks like a bunch of different dog cleaning supplies and dog grooming supplies, stuff like that. Nothing that seems out of the ordinary.
All right. I just start playing Spider Solitaire then. I'm assuming this computer's running Windows 2000. Like,
Why would it be?
because it's in a warehouse. They don't. Why would you update that software?
But it's like a super advanced Android race. Why would they do that?
Funny enough, it is running what you would expect it to be running in a regular warehouse.
Why?
Masters of disguise.
To keep up appearances.
I'm just saying it's a good thing the Chee aren't invading Earth. They would have been successful. All right. Zach's playing Spider Solitaire and kind of wishing there was room on that dog for one more, but he knows there's not.
It's a pretty big dog.
It's a pretty big dog.
I might go pet that dog. All right. Zach goes and pets that dog. I can't resist.
Kamren leans down to it and starts scritching it under its chin and says, "Oh, are you going to tell us all the secrets? Are you going to tell us what we're supposed to be doing here?"
Does it?
It doesn't.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. You're kind of making me think I might be wrong.
I think you might be wrong.
I think Zach's going to try to record this dog.
Do you try?
Yeah, I do.
All right. You reach down to touch the dog and scritch it and concentrate. And you feel the tingle in your fingers as you record its DNA.
A tingle in the fingle.
It does like cock its head and go slack for a second.
Cool. Now I can morph a Bastion.
Great defensive sort of
I mean, honestly.
morph to have.
I mean, I want this dog too. I would like to play Beethoven. All of us morphing this dog at some point, please.
Beethoven 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
we gotta
thing.
Find a golden retriever that can play basketball. we could start our own
I've
team.
read the D&D 5e rule book. There's nothing in the rule book that says we can't require a dog that plays basketball.
I've seen the movie Airbud.
You gonna tell me that dog didn't play basketball?
Oh, it did. And there wasn't any rules against it. Aximili will say, "I see Craig and Xander. They're on the lower floor.
What are they doing?
It looks like they are talking to each other."
Well, I guess we should go down there. Savannah says, not making any move to stop petting this dog.
Dylan, you do feel the tingle in your hands as well as you record the Bastion.
She's gonna look around and be like, we are all getting this dog, right?
Already did.
Okay, good.
Kamren like looks up, and then he kind of like looks to Savannah.
Sure. Why are
Okay,
you asking my permission?
you're the leader. And he concentrates.
Savannah's just going to sigh deeply, and then she'll also record this dog.
Sorry, we twisted your arm there. So we should all morph this dog and then go downstairs, right?
Oh, that'd be so
Why?
funny.
Would it?
I don't know. I just feel like it'd be funny.
They wouldn't know which of us was which.
We don't have. That was a joke. We don't have to do that.
Would you like me to record this creature as well, Matea?
Do you have a dog morph?
I do not. I have my new human morph, my Dylan morph, the red sash Hork-Bajir that we all acquired, a hummingbird, and a wolf.
You might want to get a dog morph just to have one. It's another one that's good for going through human spaces.
Humans love these things. We're really into them, as you can tell. And he gestures to the fact that they're all on this dog.
Yes, you all have seemed to surround it very quickly. And she walks over, leans in, and records it.
Dylan's gonna turn to her and be like, they really like it when you scritch them right here. And she shows her the little spot right behind the ear.
She watches and leans, puts her hand where your is, and all 5 of her fingers plus her eensy and weensy start moving and scritching. And let me see something real quick.
Are you rolling for something?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I would argue that the Incy and Weensy should give advantage on scritching.
I would absolutely argue that.
Don't worry, she already has advantage.
All right, good.
Bastion's leg starts moving really, really fast, and beating the ground beside her.
The entire room starts to shake.
Dylan's just like, yeah.
This creature is similar to the wolves.
Yeah. They kind of came from them.
Evolution.
Exactly.
Aximili will walk over and reach down, put his hand on top of Bastion's head and record it and look to Savannah. Are we all morphing?
I do not understand the joke that they are going for.
Maybe it is subterfuge.
In what way?
They will not know which of us is which, like Kamren said. We will be able to trick them.
I was just doing a joke, man. It doesn't really... We don't have to do it.
Okay.
Dak's going to start towards the door.
Yeah, I think if Zach's starting to go towards the door, Savannah will... She's not pumped about it because she has to leave the dog, but she'll just be like, fine, and she'll get up and leave and continue on towards where the Chee are.
Kamren will give a last scritch and follow.
Dylan, who is basically fully laying down on this dog, gives him a little squeeze, hug, and a kiss, and is like, "You're a good boy," and gets up and follows too.
Mateo walk behind Dylan. Zach, you get to the door, and you're able to open it. No problem. It's not locked or anything.
Great. All right, so I open the door.
Yeah, you see Craig and Xander down there talking to each other, and they kind of look up at you all and smile as you exit the office up there. Move down.
All right. Zach is going to walk right into this trap.
Xander says, hello. I'm glad you all made it.
Hey, man.
Sorry I've not been around. As you know, I've been pretty busy with the Yeerks.
It's understandable.
Craig requested some things on your all's behalf. There's a table behind them, and they have a bag of things on it, and he'll reach in and start to pull some stuff out. I was able to get quite a few of the items that you asked for. He holds up this handheld. It just looks like almost like a long USB stick. And he says, this is a short range communication device. Sets it down on the table. Pulls out a Dracon Beam. I believe you all know what this is. Places it down. He pulls out a lanyard with a card hanging on the end of it. He says, this is a level 2 ID card. Places it down. He pulls out what looks like a tablet with an antenna on the side of it. This is a portable scanner. Puts it down. And then he pulls out another tablet, and he says, the blueprints to the ship are on this.
Savannah is going to take the tablet with the blueprints to the ship and then ask while she's grabbing it, what does a level 2 security clearance badge mean precisely?
It doesn't allow you to get into the super high classified areas or anything like that, but it'll allow you to walk around in general work areas and access them. Low-level databases on different computers, it'll allow you to access that, and as well as storage areas. More access than you have now, pretty much.
Can the credentials on this be copied and applied to additional badges, or is it just the one?
I can copy it. I'm not sure if you would be able to.
Zach is like a little taken aback, but he goes, okay.
He notices that, and he'll say, not because anything with your skill level, but it needs those dogs. There are dogs all over the place. I apologize for them.
Do not need to apologize for dogs.
I like that about you, Savannah. You need Yeerk clearance access to be able to copy these, so you would have to do it from a Yeerk terminal.
Gosh, you. Okay.
Savannah, as you're like getting started with the blueprints, Craig will look to Zach and he'll say, Zach, Xander couldn't get any Gleep biofilters to bring to you. They're usually requested from the mothership. And then Xander kind of nods at that. And I'm not really aware of any storage areas that they have just down in the Yeerk pool. However, there is one installed in the abandoned river entrance that I first met you all in. And there's minimal guard station there. So
okay,
that may be something you could look into.
Zach just kind of looks over at Savannah and does like a kind of shrug. You know, we don't have like enough stuff to do, so maybe.
Yes, sure. We do not have enough to do, so we should just add that to the list. Perhaps on Saturday.
It could be a low priority, but it would at some point be useful to see how those things work and try to run some tests on them.
When she says perhaps on Saturday, Dylan's head like snaps to her, like, oh.
But Savannah, yeah, you can easily get into the tablet and look at the blueprints. Xander will say, unfortunately, the clearance level is very high for this ship. I was able to get the layout of the ship, but very few details about what is inside it. I know I have some ideas, guesses really, based on the layout of the ship and the rooms and different data that I've collected about where power is being filtered. Most of the power is being directed here, and he points to the back room of the ship. So I believe that this is where the pressure-sensitive walls and floors and the security lasers may be. Probably where the crystal is being held. The bridge is here.
How much damage can the crystal take?
It is virtually indestructible unless you have massive amounts of explosions, massive amounts of damage. It can take massive amounts of damage. Very durable, very demure.
Very mindful. All right, good to know.
The bridge is here. He points to the front of the ship. He says, the ship won't be flying, so it is most likely only used to run system functions in different diagnostics. I know that these are the engine rooms, and he points to these rooms to each right and left. The other rooms, I am not really sure, but we believe one to be the barracks, another to be where the Yeerks would prepare sustenance for their hosts. There should also be cargo area.
Okay. Good to know. What's in the engine rooms?
There are the engines, of course, the different parts that run those engines. And Aximili starts rattling off. Yes, stabilizers, ion thrusters, hyperbolic chambers for things, and wires.
And?
Rotors.
Okay, go on.
Catalytic converters. So to keep the air clean, the different planets.
They should really be careful where they put that, because I know a lot of people will, get underneath and try and steal.
Yeah.
Yes. That is why they I think that we have evolved from that, and we started putting them on the inside of the ships.
Okay.
Well, you've never seen somebody who's desperate for money.
Yeah. I've been on the receiving end of stolen converters before, Kamren says.
So what else? What else is in there?
I'm not very familiar with Yeerk ships, just the standard things in a ship. Probably a Z-space functioning chalice.
As Axe is going through all of this, Savannah is going to look specifically at Aximili for the next question, which is, what is the most unstable piece of this?
The ships that we deal with and that we have seen that the Yeerks deal with, their hulls, their entire outside is a very strong metal that has to withstand Z-space warp and re-entering atmospheres. On the outside, there are really no weak spots.
Where do the Andalite ships shoot when they are trying to take down a Yeerk ship?
Oh, the ion thruster core in the back. And they show like where that would be.
If you were trying to cut through that hull, could you do it with another piece of that metal?
Maybe if it was heated.
Like, you mean tempered or like hot at the time of cutting? Because if it was hot at the time of cutting, I think it would probably bend.
Hot at the time of cutting. I mean the hull. If the hull part was heated, you could cut it through.
Okay.
Otherwise, we use modified shredders that are more delicate.
Okay. Got it.
Xander will point out there is a pipe that connects into the ship. It comes from the outside, and he points to where that pipe is. It's on the left side of the ship, and it enters in right here.
What goes through that pipe?
We believe it is a coolant system, so water.
Oh, that's a really ineffective coolant. Okay.
You know space travel, Zach?
No, I know computers.
Yes.
Liquid-cooled computers don't use water, they use coolant.
Some computers do use water.
I
It is very effective in Urals and human technology.
Oh. Okay.
So the water pipe goes into the ship and it leads all over the ship, or it leads into some particular holding area?
Xander will say, I believe that they use the water for other things, just besides just cooling the ship. They also need it for their hosts, so it could lead to the sustenance portion of the place where they make the sustenance. There is another detail, and he'll like lean over the tablet and like scroll to the right, and you see another blueprint. There's a new development with this base that we have discovered. Xander will look back at you, Savannah, and say, I tried to go in and look for myself, but there were green sashed Hork-Bajirs, and I was not ever allowed to enter the ship. Or by walking around the grounds, I discovered this bunker that was underneath the military base. I believe it is Yeerk made. It's not listed anywhere in the military's records as being constructed, and I managed to get to a point where I could send an echolocation pulse through one of the pipes, and he like taps where the pipe was on the ship, and he says to get a crude layout, and it is massive, and he points to a part on the map, this big part, open area, and he says, I don't have any details about what is down there, but I know this is directly underneath the ship, this area. From what we know, it's not connected to the Yeerk River caverns.
So it's possible there's something bigger underneath there? Like a bigger ship, a bigger, like what are our theories?
I've been thinking about this, and that is a good theory that there may be another ship, but also this could be a contingency for if someone is able to enter the building. I believe the ship may lower down into this area.
And then trap them underground.
Yes.
What is this area made of? Is this dirt or stone or metal?
As far as I could tell, it's reinforced with metal, but it was dug out and built the same way a Yeerk River would be built. It just, as you can see, and he'll like point around all like the sides. It doesn't, from what I could tell, it doesn't lead out anywhere. It all is contained in its own area.
Okay, so it's an underground trap with only one way in, and that is through this building.
At least there's no other tunnels that lead away, is what I mean. There may be other exits, other hatches, other, I don't know, areas that they can get to. But
they're all going to be surrounding this warehouse.
yes.
And do we know what would trigger it?
I assume that they have a way to trigger it, but I do not know it.
I'll have an idea then.
Okay.
So we could have 2 teams. One goes to the ship and tries to just get it in and out. But we could have a backup team try to like dig a tunnel out of the underground base. So if we do get down there, we all have a way to get out. I don't know how deep this thing is or where it's located exactly. You know, what's around it, right? But
It is about a little less than 100 feet down.
it's a long way.
It is, but maybe she's kind of like looking at the like Xander and like it just anything she's saying is going to be separate from the idea of any sort of particular like battles or fights or anything in there, like knowing that they can't process sort of the fighting portion of it. So I think it's what she's saying to everybody here is going to be like half of the plan, right? It's not going to be like everything here. So hopefully that's kind of coming across when she's talking, but she'll just dive back into this and be like, the plan could be from the start to go down there, because then we've created a bottleneck and we know that we can get out of there. We can continue to get through the ship and to try to get the crystal and escape under there and know exactly what's with us and exactly what's coming if it's cordoned off from the rest of the facility.
Kamren will chime in and he'll say, maybe they won't expect us to hit them down there instead of up there. Maybe we could bring the ship down.
Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah, it's got to have some kind of a mechanism, right, to bring it down. Or we could have a team that intentionally fails or intentionally triggers the ship lowering plan. I don't know. What can dig down 100 feet besides a tunneling machine?
An
earth mover.
Kamren shuts it.
Badgers.
Badgers. Honey badgers?
Maybe, but those are difficult. There's only 3 zoos in the entire United States that has them, and none of them are particularly close to us.
Damn. Because they don't give a fuck.
Hey, how do you know that? Just off the top of your head, Savannah.
I do research.
Oh. You're smart.
I just work hard. There are badgers that are native to this area that we could find.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. And they dig as good as like other badgers?
Yes, they dig probably the best of any of the badgers, honestly, of almost any animal on Earth.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's get badged.
All right. Well, we will have a new morph to record. Okay. So that can be part of the plan. We will probably have to make some contingencies and maybe prepare a little bit before we get there. But all right. So tell me, she's like focusing back on the Chee now. Tell me more about what else have you found? What other information can you give me?
As far as the warehouse that the ship is in, the hologram, it is being projected by 4 generators within the hologram. Each corner is basically a huge generator that puts it out. There is a terminal that controls most of that room, and he like points to where on the ship. It's to the right side of the ship, the opposite side of the pipe. It sits on this side of the ship, and that is what they use to process whatever's going on in that ship. They use that computer to open it up, close it, and do basically run the stuff that's going on in the ship. The door to the warehouse is here. It's still a hologram. They use the version of the hologram that can be solid, and that's why they have snipers posted on the roof. That's why they can stand there. There are sashed Hork-Bajirs guarding the inside of the warehouse. There are Taxon. There are human controllers that work within the warehouse and on the outside of the ship. And I'm sure there are a number of guards within the ship. I'm under the impression that they have gold sashed and green sashed warriors within the ship. Elite guards from Visser 1 and Visser 2.
And Visser 2.
Yes. The green sashed Hork-Bajirs are Visser 2s. Visser 3 has some of his controllers working the warehouse, just not inside the ship.
Okay, so there are inside the ship, there are still?
Yes.
We could just make a sash, right? Like,
We still can't use the Hork-Bajir morph we have. We'd have to make a sash and get a new Hork-Bajir morph.
You would also need to come up with a story for why this Hork-Bajir is being let in. Not every sashed warrior is allowed in. I'm told that there is the right hand of one of the Vissers is one of the guards for the ship. I don't know which one. There's just a powerful Yeerk warrior within the ship.
And do we know what they are?
I do not.
Okay. And what about Subvisor 11?
He will arrive tomorrow. I'm set to meet him at the Yeerk pool. That does bring me to our next item of business. He looks to Zach now and he says, Craig told me that you had a plan. Well, all of you had a plan, but you would be the one implementing it. I've generated 3 codes for you all to use to log incident reports. They will allow you to make reports as if you were controllers under Visser 3's command. You will need to access a Yeerk terminal to do so because they cannot be submitted remotely. They need to be submitted at a Yeerk terminal. My program will not allow me to do it because of the consequences of what might happen because of it.
If we gave you an item to submit without you reading it, would you be able to do it on our behalf?
I believe not.
Okay.
is there a Yeerk terminal at the river?
Yes. There are Yeerk terminals all over the Yeerk River.
I mean, the entrance that, like, you know, we met Xander at.
Yes.
He looks at Van. He's like, "That's another reason to go." If we figure out our messages ahead of time, we can upload them all at once.
I mean, potentially, can they track that though? If we were to upload all 3 messages from the same terminal at a similar time?
They could, but I don't believe it would be out of the realm of possibilities that 3 controllers under Visser 3's command got together and submitted all of their reports at the same time. Especially if these reports happened in quick succession of each other.
I mean, I don't know Yeerk technology too well, but, like, is it similar enough to human technology that I can put a delay on the messages being sent? Once I'm on the network, right, I just have to have them input there.
I believe you could do that.
You know, I could delay one to put out, like, the next day or another hour or whatever, you know.
That is doable. Also, it would look suspicious if they found out that you delayed submitting the report for any reason. Not that it would be totally unheard of, but it may make them look into it more.
I mean, like, just so it's not 3 people all submitting their things right at the same time.
Right. I understand. I'm just saying that if you do that, they would. If it was me, I would wonder why someone delayed submitting a incident report.
Got you. Okay.
You were about to say that there were more terminals somewhere else?
There are terminals, and he points to where he pointed before in the warehouse. This is a Yeerk terminal. There are Yeerk terminals scattered throughout the Yeerk River. If you all have been down there at all, I'm sure you've seen one.
I believe
Been on one.
we've used one. Yeah, she's looking at like kind of Aximili at this time.
Aximili will nod. That is exactly what we used. That was a terminal.
Okay. And do you have a launch time for going back to the mothership for the trial on Saturday?
Yes, they want me early morning, 5 a.m., just to greet the other Yeerk Empire members that will be there, get everything set up for the hearing. Pleasantries.
It's wild to hear them called pleasantries, but sure. Okay. Is there anything else we should know?
Do you all have any questions? I apologize for not being able to get you as much information as a Visser should have been able to get, but they are keeping a close eye on Visser 3.
It's understandable, and the best we can hope for is that the other Vissers have equal hurdles to overcome with information.
Unfortunately, because they're higher ranking, at least 1 and 2, they're already in the ship. But they haven't cracked the Chee code, the Pemalite code. They cannot use the crystals yet. But I'm afraid if they could, we would all know it. Your planet will not have long left.
Okay. Is there somewhere here that we could just go and talk for a little bit where, not that I don't want to include you guys, but there are reasons that I do not want to include you guys.
Understandable, Xander says, and he says that you're welcome to use the office back upstairs. I can pull Bastion out.
Whoa. Like, does he have a listening device implanted on him?
In his collar, he does. I could also just take the collar off
Oh, okay.
if you would like his company.
She looks at Savannah with, like, doe eyes.
It's fine. I have a way around it.
And we can also soundproof any room here. That is not the only room, though. If you would like another one, you could have another one. We have plenty of food and beverages. This area, and he gestures to another second story part of the building, and that's just over here, like all these buildings. And he says, there's a kitchen, there is restroom facilities, workstations, anything that you need. Katie is also in one of these rooms, but anyone could be soundproof. Any one of these rooms can be cloaked, whatever you need.
It's fine. We can use the office with Bastion.
We'll be down here. He puts the stuff back in the bag and gestures it to you all, and Kamren will grab it.
All right. Savannah will head back upstairs towards that room.
Yeah, Dylan bounces up the stairs.
Zach goes with.
Kamren is looking through the bag as he's walking, and the Andalites follow.
Once they get back there, I think Savannah will just say, all right, to anyone who's not thought speak capable, pick a morph, any morph. And then she'll just start morphing.
Dylan goes lemur.
Kamren will go back to Osprey.
And as she goes lemur, she curls up on Bastion.
Yeah, he snuggles back.
On the duck.
I think Savannah will go to Awesome Possum.
Oh, we should do a dog party.
A minute later, everyone is morphed.
Except for Aximili and Maitea.
Yeah, except for Aximili and Maitea. They're an Andalite morph.
Of course. All right, so we can speak privately this way, at least, and know that that's safe. So yeah, we have a few things to get through. But right off the bat, Zach, I think perhaps your 2-team initiative is not the worst idea. We could have somebody that is working on getting the ship lowered and then already have people down there waiting. And that also gives us a way for them to fight back if we need backup on there. But
my thought was really like, if we have an infiltration team on the ship trying to get the crystal by themselves, we'll have the other team there as backup. If we get them into the place first, we badge it up, we get in there, we have them on standby in one of the rooms underneath.
if we have the ship already lowered, though, then we don't need to worry about what could possibly come.
If the ship starts to lower, though, it's going to alert everybody that there's something going on with the ship.
I think we have no choice but to alert them that something is going on with the ship, because the ship has too many security devices on it. The pressure plates, the light sensitivity, the movement detectors. I think this has to be a smash and grab. We're going to have to attack the ship. We can attack the engine components, hope that we blow it up, get in there, grab the crystal, and get out.
I have another idea.
Okay.
Can we think of a way to quickly heat the bottom of the crystal area of the ship? Because I happen to have a tempered piece of that metal.
And then what?
And then we cut a hole in the bottom.
And set off all of the sensors, the pressure plates, and the light detection and
Yeah, I
movement.
know, but then we're more directly in there. And surely that room will lock down, so people won't be able to get directly into the crystal room while we're in there.
But neither will we.
If we're coming up from underneath? I'm talking about cutting a hole in the floor.
Correct.
And then we get back out through the hole in the floor? No.
I don't know that will disable the sorts of other things it has in there. If we can find a way to disable them and then go through the floor, sure.
Okay, it was just a thought.
If we knew how to do that, though, that something like that could work, or lock it down but disable the rest of the components in there.
From what we have been told, I believe that there is a warehouse floor and then the ship floor. So if we are coming from the bottom up, we may need to go through 2 floors before we get to the crystals.
Right.
Yeah.
We would have to break into the warehouse itself on there, which we have the same sorts of issues with. We don't know how many people are there and how many people could possibly come with weaponry.
Dylan's gonna get up from Bastion and hop over to the door and sort of put her paws up against the window and thought speak so everybody can hear, but is directing to Craig and be like, "Hey, do you know if the big general guy can go in there? Thumbs up or thumbs down?"
So everything's been muffled from the outside in while you all have been in here. You all hear the dog barks start to echo through again, and over a PA system, he says, that human is not a controller.
So no.
And the warehouse is private contracted, at least to the military, but they use some of the guards from the military to guard it.
What is the name of the private contractor?
Mordor Industries. Everything muffles again.
I mean, I think I don't know. From what I'm thinking, I still think our best bet would be to try to burrow down there preemptively and get them to lower the ship through there and then just smash and grab, leave. My understanding was that the defensive measures would lead to different sort of energy issue. There's lasers, I think, were mentioned, that kind of thing. Do we know what the pressure plates do? Do they explode? Do we have that information?
Aximili will say, I believe Xander did not know that. He just knows that they will activate things. They will activate alarms.
Do you think that the Dracon beam that they have would be enough that if we shot at different parts of the engine components, the weaker components, that it would cause an explosion?
I believe that is something that we can do, yes.
Because if we cause an explosion, I'm assuming that the sort of violence of that would set off a lot of the triggers in that room anyways, and if it was open to the air, there would probably be a point where we'd have the opportunity to grab the crystal.
Not only that, we could explode stuff while the ship was down in the basement, and then they can't get back up. Unless they have those other ways that Xander said. But still, right then and there, they couldn't get back up.
I mean, correct. The only thing we'd have to worry about then is collapsing that tunnel behind us to destroy evidence, which, if we are creating explosions anyways.
We still have those crystals. I think one of those was basically a grenade, right?
We sure do.
Correct.
I like that part.
You like the explosion part?
I like the fact that we have a crystal that will do what we're intending to do already. That makes it easier for us.
Yeah, it does. We've also got the super soldier crystals if you wanted to do one of those. I'm just saying, kombucha amped up could be crazy.
That could be.
Mucha kombucha.
All right, what else? What else do you guys have?
So, okay, with this, we technically have 2 Dracon Beams.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have 2 crystals?
The super soldier crystals?
2 grenadey, explodey crystals.
I believe we do.
We could place one toward the inside of the engine on either side and blow the whole back off and get in there.
Mm-hmm. We could definitely do that.
I can also make explosives with some earth supplies.
Yeah. Me too, man.
She gives you like an Andalite smile with her eyes when you say that.
Zach, private thought speaks. I've got some literature I need to get to you.
I would appreciate it.
Fucking
I'm glad Dylan doesn't hear that.
Green, you have 10. White, you have 4. Black, you have 3. Red, you have 6.
We don't know what red does.
Pink, you have 1. Purple, you have 1. Dark gray metallic, you have 3. And then what you've all been waiting for, orange, you have 7.
Fuck yeah.
I thought we had a lot of orange because we were told not to fuck with those. So yeah, I think Savannah's just going to ask again, like, what else? What else are you guys thinking? What else do you have going on?
Well, I mean, I'm just also thinking that an amped up kombucha with a sword is even better.
Actually, everybody roll me insight checks.
Love the insight checks.
Savannah, you noticed at the mention of kombucha with a badass kombucha with a sword, the osprey's eyes look down for just a second. That seems out of place for a stale-faced raptor. That's all you get out of it.
That's Kamren, right?
Yep.
She's going to direct thought speak him just privately and just say, what?
He looks back up to you and direct thought speak to you. Private thought speak. Reese wanted to do that.
Yeah, Savannah's not going to respond to him. She'll just like do a nod, but not super overtly. All right. Well, we should continue to workshop it, but here's my understanding as of right now. What we should do is, first of all, go record badgers. We should start pre-digging down to this facility, and then hopefully we can... It's going to be a long night, but maybe while we're doing that, we can have somebody scouting out, trying to figure out how we're going to sink this thing. We'll sink it into the ground. I mean, last-ditch effort, I think, would just be to attack it in some manner or make it feel like the facility is being attacked. Sink it into the ground, go down there, blow this thing up, grab the crystal, blow up the tunnel behind us, get out of there. We have Dracon Beams, we have explosive crystals, we have Maitea and her explosion-making skills, and we could hopefully get out that way. And then the only thing that we have left to figure out is how we're going to crash an entire ship a few days later.
Get the bag and kill a bunch of Yeerks. Sounds good to me.
All right. At some point during all of this, we will need to submit the incident reports as well. I do not know if it would be more beneficial to submit them before we steal this crystal or after. I guess potentially after, correct? Because then our incident reports could contain what the failings were on the security of this ship. And that would make sense why they would all be submitted together, right?
I believe that is a good idea. But like you said, it depends on the time frame that we have. We must do it all before Saturday. But if this is the most pressing matter, then it does make sense to do them after that.
It would give us an excuse.
We may also take some security away from other places so they can be like checking this place out. So it may actually make it easier to get in.
And with that divided between the return of Sub-Visser 11, maybe we would be able to really get into somewhere without much resistance.
Especially like a low security area.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Had an idea.
Yes.
So this does put us on a little bit more of like double duty for tomorrow night. Is that when we're playing this?
Yes.
If we want to make this happen the same time that Sub-Visser 11 is getting in, and we want to make Visser 3 look bad, we could do a back-to-back mission. We could hit him here, and then maybe go back to the windsurf and hit him there, and it makes Visser 3 look like it makes us look, our numbers look bigger, and also makes Visser 3 look like he doesn't have anything under control.
Okay, so that would mean we've got one team on standby in the warehouse, we've got one team going into the ship, and we've got a team at the windsurf. That's too many teams.
I think what we do is we have the team that's outside of covering us at the warehouse, and what's going to happen is when we're in the final stages of grabbing that crystal, getting out, blowing up the tunnel, the team that's on the outside of the warehouse will have to start heading towards windsurf, and then we'll join them.
That's the backup team. What if something goes wrong on the ship?
We should already be out of the ship by that time.
And we just abandon plan for the windsurf.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay.
All right. What are we planning to do at the windsurf precisely? She's looking at Kamren.
I don't know. Maybe blow it up too.
I mean, hopefully we're not going to be really blowing up a building
An entire hotel?
with people that aren't controllers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that there's something is up in there. Zach, didn't you say you saw something there or something weird happened with it?
They've got like a whole Yeerk kind of area in there on one of the floors. We could just blow that up, bust some windows out. I mean, it's probably pretty well reinforced. I don't know what the destructive capability of these orange crystals is. I don't really like the idea. We could just go in and attack them and then leave again, just hit and run.
I mean, it's true. We only really need to prove that we were there and that the Andalite bandits were causing.
Make a mess there and then roll out.
So I guess we just go in, topple some furniture, crush through 3 walls, get out.
Yeah. That works.
Hell yeah.
It'd be really useful if we had more people.
More people is more points of failure.
But if we get these crystals,
Okay. So that's the plan for tomorrow night. And then dependent on how that goes, we will submit the incident reports and then get to the ship at, well, before 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. And we will have to stage the death of Visser Three again.
sounds badass.
Sounds risky.
The first one wasn't staged.
Yes, it was. He is not dead yet.
You're right.
All right. Well, any questions for our allies here before we head out, I guess?
Where will the Chee be during all of this?
Nowhere near where they might see someone getting hurt.
And where are we going to? Are we dropping the crystals back off to them?
I think we'll have to. But that can be one person, one runner. And we can set them up nearby so that we can get it on the way to the windsurf.
Bastion shakes his head.
All right. Anything else?
Not from me. Not from me. Not from me.
Not from me.
Nope.
All right. So who wants to morph owl with me and go find some badgers?
Maybe Dylan should go.
It was kind of a rhetorical question. We kind of all need to. It was an.
Oh,
We
everybody.
all have to. Everybody has to. If you're going to be helping with this, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because Dylan's the only one that's. Well, you two are not. Dylan and you aren't birds yet, so I was thinking that you two could be turn into owls or whatever.
Zach's already demorphing.
I think Dylan is just like standing there as a lemur with her little hands on her hips, just looking at Kamren.
Just brown osprey eyes stare back at you, but inside, he's scared. Private thought speak. Dylan, sorry, but you know, you could have a little private time with her.
Private thought speak back. Shut up.
She can't hear us, dude.
Stop trying to push this.
All right. You see his talons kind of cross. To the badgers. He like flutters over to the window.
Zach morphs owl.
How dark is it outside, by the way?
I think you guys came in at around 6, so like the sun's starting to set. How long does it take the sunset IRL? How long does it take
An
it
hour?
to set? So it's still pretty bright then because it'll start setting at 7. Because I think we established very, very early that it's at 8 o'clock sunrise and sunset.
Savannah will she'll start demorphing and switch at some point from the thought speak of like, all right, I'm gonna go back and tell the Chee that we're leaving, and then she'll out of dog morph and like kind of have the weird muzzle for a second, and then I'll grab this bag and make our way back to Pacific Towers. She'll just lay out that plan, and then she'll head out to go say goodbye to the Chee and haul the bag with her, and she'll just plan to make it back there because I don't think she's gonna try to morph and like fly with it in broad daylight.
Well, as you get out there, Craig will say, I can run this to wherever you need it to go.
That would be convenient.
Yeah, any way we can help.
Perfect. Do you want to just take this back to Pacific Towers then?
Yes.
All right. We're heading out.
Yep. He heads out.
All right. Cool. She'll head back up. Morph. Get out of there.
Yeah. You are... Cameron's still an osprey, but yeah, the rest And Dylan, and not Dylan, Matea's a hummingbird. Aximili is a short-eared owl.
So is Dylan.
So cool.
And your flock flies out into the starting to set sun.